Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Sanctuary. My name is Christian and I hope that you will join me in taking refuge in records. So I'm here today with a tribute video to my favourite artist of all time, Prince, who very tragically passed away 10 years ago today, 21st of April 2016, at the age of 57. So what I wanted to do today with the video was to share with you my Prince album collection, and also just to talk about Prince as an artist and to share some memories of where I was and how I felt 10 years ago when I heard the news. So Prince is an artist who for me is utterly unique, a true visionary, a pioneer, an artist who was extraordinary live. I had the pleasure of watching him 3 times and I have never seen, in my personal experience, a more complete or a more compelling live experience or setting. The musicianship was extraordinary. The choreography, the staging, the lighting, the design, everything was just done to the most highest of levels. As an artist himself, he could do it all. He could dance like James Brown. He could play the guitar like Jimi Hendrix. He had the multi-instrumentalist qualities of an artist like Sly Stone or Todd Rundgren. He was a composer, an arranger, producer, awesome lyricist as well. He could do it all. And he was basically dynamite in a very diminutive package and did so much in terms of breaking down conventions and expressing freedom and liberation. And although he had his own battles during his career with his label, and went on to be emancipated from that label through his own endeavours, he always continued to tread his own path, to follow his own calling, and he has left the world with an unbelievable legacy and an amazing body of work, most of which as well has probably still not seen the light of day with that legendary vault that he had. But the music that he did choose to put out in his lifetime is truly magnificent and something to behold. So in terms of where I was when I found out the news, I actually was travelling home from a trip to Stratford upon Avon. So that year in 2016, my wife, Michelle, we were in Amsterdam when Bowie passed away in the January, and that was a couple of days before her birthday, and Prince passed away a couple of days after my birthday. So I'd been out to Stratford upon Avon for a birthday treat. It was a lovely experience, lovely time there. And then I got home and turned on the news, saw the iconic Sinead O'Connor video for Nothing Compares to You, one of Prince's greatest songs, and there was the news flashing up there for everyone to see, and I was absolutely devastated. It took me a long time to reconnect, I suppose, with the music of Prince, just because I just didn't feel ready to listen to it again. It took me some time before I felt that I could, just because of how I felt around what had happened. So yeah, 10 years ago, unbelievably, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it is. And in that time, as I'm sure many other fans, or all the fans across the world of Prince's, still difficult sometimes to believe that he's gone, but we've got the music, and that will forever have him in our hearts and minds. So I'm going to get on now with showing the albums that I've got in my collection. So what I've decided to do today is to pick one song from each of these albums that I have, and just to hopefully give you all a bit of a taster into the sorts of music and songs and styles of Prince's that I particularly enjoy, and just to share my thoughts on them as well. So once upon a time, when I had a CD collection, I had pretty much everything that Prince had released at that point. That CD collection is long gone. I've explained that on the channel before. So I have been, over a course of a number of years, purchasing Prince's albums on vinyl. So there's a mixture here of original pressings and reissues. This is a far from complete collection of Prince's, but what I've tried to do is prioritise the albums of his that I personally gravitate to and have always had a long-held love and affection for. My plan is to get them all at some point, but that will probably take some time and some expense to do that. So but by no means a comprehensive discography here that I've got of his, but this is the stuff that I do have at the point of recording. Okay, so let's get into it. So starting us then today, I've got Prince's debut album here for you, and I will just take this out of the packaging just to make sure that you can see it all okay. Lovely album. So this was Prince's introduction to the world, and the song that I want to choose off this one is I'm Yours, which is the closing track on the record. Hopefully that's coming through there. The shrink wrap might be affecting it a little bit. And that is a really great taste of Prince at his rocking best. So there's some great guitar work on this one. As much as I love the many facets of Prince's style, I have always gravitated towards his guitar virtuosity, which I'm just in complete awe of. I always will be. And his work on I'm Yours in particular, that track, is pretty stunning for such a young lad at the time as well. And to be, dropping an album of this quality was really quite something. It definitely points towards the many different guises and the comfortability, I would say, of Prince to be able to change up his style seemingly at will. It was already all there on For You, and he went on to get even more accomplished very soon afterwards. Okay, so next up in my collection, so that was a repress, that one. This one I think is an original pressing. This one, we have got his self-titled album here, Prince. There we go. And he had a number of very distinctive hairstyles over the years, did Prince. So there's that one there. He's rocking that look there. Then on the back cover there, we've got him in typical Prince fashion. Looks like he's riding Pegasus there in his birthday suit. So yeah, a very typical Prince image. And when you think about the sorts of photographs and the different poses and looks that he went for throughout his career, always looking to gain attention in some way or another. And a song here that I'm going to have to choose, it's the opening track on this album, is I Want to Be Your Lover. Just a great pop disco song. I love the outro to it, where it's just like goes into this big instrumental passage. It's got a great groove to it. Prince using his falsetto on that song to great effect, and just a really stunning song. I think that's one of his earliest classic songs, I would say, is I Want to Be Your Lover. Great track. We've got this inside here as well to show. Another great photograph of Prince there. And then that's the other side of it as well. So put that away. I will check actually for completeness if there is anything in For You from memory. Let me just have a quick look, just so I'm showing everything there in sequence, just in case there's big fans of that album, which I'm sure there will be. You might want to see inside it as well. So let me just have a quick look for you. Yeah, there is. Well, I've got got it on camera here. Yeah, there we go. It's photographed there. Great haircut there. It's the acoustic guitar there as well, Prince. There we go. Hopefully that's coming through okay. Okay. So that's For You and Prince. Okay, up next. This, I would say, for me, is probably his first 5-star album. And I would say there was a few of those in his discography. But coming up now from 1980, we've got Dirty Mind. And you can see here now already that Prince is very much creating his own look, a very visually compromising style, I would say. And what I mean by compromising is that it's a look that is designed to, as I mentioned before, court interest and gain attention, but also it's showing an artist who is definitely out there in terms of, I want to present myself in a way that I feel comfortable with. And again, I think I mentioned it a little earlier in my overview of him, that he was about breaking down societal conventions and norms and expressing a very sort of a free will and a liberated lifestyle, so to speak. So there we've got him on the back there as well. under the graffiti there of the track names. And there's so many brilliant songs on this one, but the one I'm going to choose is When You Were Mine, which has got a very sort of a very new wave feel to it. It's a great pop song, very new wavy, quite guitar driven. The production throughout this actually is quite lo-fi, which I really like about it. It almost sounds kind of like demos and a bit sort of grimy, a bit like a bit of a sort of a Backstreet sort of feel to it, which I think lends itself to the album really well. And When You Were Mine is just one of those songs that when I very first heard it, I did connect with that one very, very quickly. And there's Prince there with his members of the Revolution there. It's a great photograph. You can see them all there. Got Dr. Fink, Des Dickerson, Bobby Z, Andre there as well, and then Lisa Coleman there on the end. Prince in the middle. Okay, so When You Were Mine went on to be covered by Cyndi Lauper as well, that one later on. And as you'd expect as well with Prince, lyrically as well, When You Were Mine does tell a story, as they always do. He often spoke about relationships and encounters of a certain nature, did Prince. He did that very, very much throughout his career, and to varying degrees of, I suppose, detail and explicit and that sort of stuff. But yeah, When You Were Mine is a great song. Okay, so coming up next then in my collection, we've got Controversy. Another really solid album, this one. Really good indeed. And I think this might just be a plain one on this one for me. I don't have, yeah, it's just a plain one, that one. So the track I'm going to choose off this one, yeah, trying to make this on side one, yeah, is Do Me Baby. Do Me Baby. This for me is one of Prince's sort of best epic sort of ballad, slow jam type tracks, this one, Do Me Baby. I just love the instrumentation on it. I love how it sounds. It's another great vehicle for his vocal performance, his vocal talents. It just has like a sort of really dreamy, sort of a woozy quality to it, very romantic. Prince in kind of like his balladeer form, really, and feel like where it comes in the album, that track, where it actually lands, is just a really clever placement as well. You've got all these other tracks living and breathing around it, like Controversy, the opening track, which is a brilliant way to get things kicked off. That's a very up tempo, funky number. Sexuality as well comes before Do Me Baby, and then it gets a little bit more up tempo again then on side two. So I just think Do Me Baby is a really great song, and definitely one to check out from Controversy. Okay, so next up then, this for me is his next 5-star album after Dirty Mind. One of my all-time favourites, this one. We have got 1999, which was released in 1982. Double album. Absolutely magical album, this one. Utterly majestic. Can't say enough about it. It's really superb. Show you the insides here. You got some brilliant photographs of Prince here and the Revolution as well. Love that photograph there of Prince. Such a great shot, that one. Hopefully this is all coming through to you okay. And then, yet again, we get the shy and retiring Prince here. Just lazing about as you do. So that's that. And I mean, so many great songs to choose off this one. I mean, I could say that about every album I'm showing today. Oh, but I'm only going to choose one. So yeah, I'm going to go for Little Red Corvette on that one. The reason being is just because I've got so many fond memories of seeing that video when I was growing up on MTV. Again, it's Prince at his rocking best. I think at the time it was being compared to the sort of work that Bruce Springsteen was doing, and I think some commentators said that it was outbossing the boss, so to speak, and that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, Little Red Corvette, again, the lyrics definitely need to be studied and interpreted in terms of what Prince is actually singing about. He's very much keeping on theme with Little Red Corvette, but very subversive, a massive hit. It really did help to break Prince through to that, to that mass audience, the crossover appeal, going from his earlier work that was more soul and pop orientated and funk with the earlier albums. Then he begins to cross over to a wider catchment area, so to speak, with something like 1999. But it's an immense double album, a great achievement again at that stage in Prince's career, and definitely one to check out. I mean, all these albums need checking out, and that's why I've prioritised buying these ones. And that's not to say that the ones that I haven't got yet I don't love, because I do, but time and expense and other choices, and when they're available and when I'm out hunting, you just need to get things as and when you can. So it's a work in progress, but I do miss those CDs sometimes, because I had pretty much everything at one point, but they're all gone now. So we'll get there. Okay, so that's 1999. Okay, so coming up next, then here's the blockbuster. This one from '84. Excuse me. This is the record that symbolises Prince at the top of the mountain, at the peak. Artistically, arguably, commercially, certainly, this was him. Standing on the shoulder of giants now, alongside the likes of Michael Jackson and Madonna. The king and queen of pop of the '80s at that time, as they were known. And then we had Prince doing his thing. So now I've got Purple Rain. And I'm wearing my Purple Rain t-shirt today in tribute to that record, and I've got my Paisley shirt on as well. So yeah, what can you say about Purple Rain? Unbelievable. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think it's actually grown to become quite underrated, because I think just because so many songs were singles off it, and maybe it did suffer a little bit for how ubiquitous it became, maybe a bit of overexposure. But when you just break it down as an actual album and listen to it as an experience, it is absolutely stunning. It's a masterpiece. It truly is. So yeah, I mean, I don't know whether people would agree with that, about it maybe becoming a little, maybe underrated, it's not the word, maybe underappreciated a little bit, just because, as I said, it was just everywhere for so long. Never liked the layout of that, because you can't really read the lyrics with that purple font against that backdrop. But there we go. So that's a reissue as well. The 1999 one is an original. There is probably a bit of maybe a 50-50 split, I think, off by memory, of reissues to originals. So yeah, this one is a nice repressing, this one. So yeah, so one song to pick off here. I'm gonna have to go for Purple Rain. Purple Rain, outstanding song, an all-time classic. Got lovely memories of watching him playing that one live, the 3 times that I managed to see him. Just an astonishing song, 8 minutes plus of just sweeping grandeur. It's got, rock god guitar work in there. It's just got an amazing performance vocally by Prince. It is just one of his greatest songs, and no doubt the song that most people would forever associate in their mind's eye when they immediately bring Prince to mind. They're going to think of Purple Rain, so had to choose that one. Okay, so then he had to follow that up. So, that was an absolute monster of an album. As I said, sold millions and millions of units all over the world. Massive hits on it, Oscar winning soundtrack, you name it. That was the pinnacle. So he follows it up with this rather psychedelic pop, quite a spiritual album, I'd say, in places as well, with some of the lyrical themes. 1985, we've got Around the World in a Day. So this has got a lovely front cover to it. This one, very interesting artwork on this one. So he definitely moved in a different direction. I think he tried, maybe he thought to himself that trying to replicate or to follow up Purple Rain and do like an identikit sort of album would not be the way to go. And again, as I've alluded to a couple of times in this video already, Prince always marched to the beat of his own drum wherever he possibly could. Even when he was under the constraints of, record contracts and that sort of thing, he always fought tirelessly for artistic control and just to keep that vision front and centre. So that's the gatefold there with lyrics. So another obvious pick off this record for me, it's got the wonderful hit on it, Raspberry Beret. Love that song. I actually find it very touching and very sweet, the lyrics of it. It is Prince, I suppose, having more of a tender sort of a moment, I would say. There is still that kind of that sort of naughtiness at play with it as well, as you'd expect with Prince. And he did just become an expert at being able to weave in quite suggestive subject matter into mainstream music. He really did do that as well as anybody, arguably better than anybody. There's a couple of other people I can think of, Rick James and a few others, but he did do it sublimely, and I think it no doubt gave him a lot of satisfaction and enjoyment to be able to do that, to connect with the masses in that way. But Raspberry Beret, beautiful song, great chord structure. One of my favourite choruses of Prince's in terms of being able to compose something that's just so catchy. He was great with those old earworms as well, and I love the sort of the string driven instrumentation to it as well. So yeah, great song, that one. Okay, so here's another 5-star record for me. We're not up to my favourite album yet of Prince's. A lot of people that tune into my channel regularly will already know what that album is. But as I mentioned, I do feel he does have a number of 5-star records in his discography. I would completely respect and appreciate totally if this album now, or any others for that matter, Purple Rain at 1999, maybe Dirty Mind as well, were people's all-time favourite Prince albums. Do let me know in the comments which yours is. But this is another stunning album. So he was really in a purple patch, no pun intended, but I mean, he really was. I mean, during that 80s run, from Dirty Mind all the way through to the end of the decade, really, the 80s, he was on fire. So coming up now, we've got Parade, 8th of 1986. So this was the soundtrack to his film Cherry Moon, which marked the film debut of Kristen Scott Thomas. So yeah, this is just another exceptional record. That is one of my favourites sort of front cover images of Prince's, in terms of, I think sometimes his album art, the front covers, I think vary in quality, but I do think just the pose of it, how iconic and memorable it looks, I do think that's a great photo there of Prince. And then we've got him there on the back as well. There we go. So let me just open this up for you, and then it's got my hype sticker there. So he's still with the Revolution at this stage, I should say as well. Includes Kiss, Mountains, Another Little Hole in Your Head, and Boys and Girls. This sticker is removable. I never did remove it though. Okay, so let me just pull this out. There we go. So hopefully try and get all that in there, gatefold for you. And yeah, what an amazing band the Revolution were. Just want to pay tribute to the Revolution as well. Was such an important contributor to Prince's vision. Great musicians, great energy, great vibe from them. Really did help in terms of Prince as the captain, so to speak, steering the ship and helping him to realise his musical ambitions with just being such a wonderful band. So yeah, one song off here as the inner. It has to be Kiss. The reason being as well is that Kiss is not only an astonishing song, a masterpiece of a track, very sort of grimy sort of funk, very sort of low production values, I would say, very stripped back the way that it's done. It's my favourite ever Prince song. So that's why I had to choose Kiss, because it's my favourite ever Prince song, always has been, always will be. Love everything about it. I would say that from a number of the songs I've chosen today, that I do really not only gravitate, I would suppose, towards Prince's more rocking guitar work, but his falsetto as well. I've noticed there's a few songs there that I've chosen that do express Prince's falsetto. His vocal range was incredible, but I do really like it when Prince hits that high register, and he does that to unbelievable effect on Kiss. I mean, even just that part alone when he sings "I Want to Be Your Fantasy," the way that he hits that high note is just incredible. And then right at the end of the song, when he says the word "kiss" for the last time, it's he goes really deep with it. I'm actually thinking it might be the one time he says it. No, of course, and he says it throughout. Of course, he does, with little Kiss sound effects and stuff as well. Yeah, tripping over myself a minute trying to remember if he does say it until the end, but he does. Yeah, of course he does. Right then, you'd think I'd know that immediately, given how many times I've heard it, but there you go. Overthinking that. But yeah, great song. Please do check it out. I'm sure you've all heard it. That little intro riff as well on the guitar, that little funky riff. Love it. Brilliant. Okay, so we're now getting up to my favourite ever album of Prince's. This is the one that I felt, this is for me his artistic peak, his ultimate statement. spoken about it on the channel many times before. It's just an absolute, just an astonishing piece of work. And every time I play it, which is very often, I continue to find new things to discover in it. So from 1987, we've got Sign of the Times, another double album, utter masterpiece. Got some big songs on here, such as You Got the Look, a huge hit that he did alongside Sheena Easton. If I Was Your Girlfriend is another wonderful song on here. You've got I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. The title track is awesome. But the one song I am going to choose off this one is The Ballad of Dorothy Parker. That's a track that maybe some people who maybe are not as deeply entrenched with Prince, they perhaps might not know that song as much as some of the others in his discography. But that for me is a hugely underrated Prince song, maybe even the most underrated. It's a beautiful track. It's got a kind of a very late night, sort of noirish vibe to it. Tells the story of him being in a diner and meeting this waitress called Dorothy Parker. Just a lovely song. Again, his vocal delivery in it is superb. It just fits the vibe of the song so beautifully. So please do check out The Ballad of Dorothy Parker. And then that's the insides there. That's my copy of Sign of the Times. I think that's Cat Glover there hiding behind the heart. She was his dancer and did some rapping and things, MCing and stuff. I think did Cat Glover. There we go. So that's Sign of the Times. Love that album. My all-time favourite. Okay, so coming up now then is I still think this might be the most heavily bootlegged album of all time. So I've got 3 copies of this album that I'm going to show you. I don't have an official copy as yet, but it is a grail for me, and it is one that I will plan to get in the future when the time is right and the moment lands, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But I do have these copies of it here that I will show. So of course this album it's the Black Album, which has got a huge story all of its own that I do encourage you to please go and check out and investigate at your own leisure. Far too much to it now to go into it on my one video, but I will show you the copies of it that I've got. So yeah, so this one here I've got of it is a double discer. It's got some remixes and remasters on it, this one, in case anyone's not seen it, and some bonus tracks as well. Now the sound quality of this one in particular is actually superb. I'm still yet to hear the Black Album on vinyl, the official Black Album. This comes on like a kind of a grey coloured vinyl, this one. But this one sounds really good. Of the 3 copies I've got, this one sounds the best. So I'll show the 3 versions of it I've got first, and then I'll pick my favourite track. So that's that one. As I mentioned, you get some bonus tracks there as well. Okay, and then I've got this copy of it. I'll put them in the same folder, this one in the same sleeve. I've got this copy of it here. So the sound on this one is okay, I would say. I mean, it's listenable. It's certainly not terrible. It's listenable. And this one here has a couple of bonus tracks on it as well that don't appear on that copy that I just showed. So that's why I've got that one as well. A couple that I think ended up on Crystal Ball from memory. That's on Charity Records, that one. So that's that one. And then this one here was actually the first version of the album on vinyl that I acquired. So that there is Prince. I think that's from the You Got the Look video or single. Yeah, it is. It's from You Got the Look, that image there. And then this one here is just the album, the 8 tracks, the original 8 tracks. So yeah, there's no remasters or remixes or bonus tracks on that one. The sound quality on that one is appalling. It is. So that is one to avoid. I keep it more for collection purposes and just because it was the first one that I got of the Black Album. I do quite like the cover art on it, but yeah, as a listening experience, please do avoid that one. The pitch is all off on it, and yeah, it sounds like it's been recorded from about 10 generations of whatever the original recording. So yeah, please do proceed with caution with that one. But my favourite song, the one that I want to choose, the one song off the Black Album, is Bob George. The reason I'm choosing Bob George is just because that is the most unique song, I would say, in Prince's discography. He never recorded another song quite like Bob George. Again, please do check out the storyline of that one. There's a lot to get into with it, but very interesting because certainly because today I've been choosing a lot of songs where Prince's falsetto was being used. On that track, he actually uses digital audio techniques to manipulate his voice to make it sound very, very deep, to make it sound nothing like Prince. He's playing a character in that song. And the reason that I go back to that track in particular a lot is just because it's a bit of it's one of those that you kind of find it hard to believe that it even exists. I mean, if you played it to someone, didn't tell them it was Prince, they'd be forgiven for not knowing that it was actually Prince. So it's got a real sort of hard, funky groove to it. Some really kind of snarly guitar work in it as well, but it's the vocal and the lyrics on that one which really make it stand out. So that's a very infamous track on what is a very infamous album. Okay, so when Prince had taken the decision to scrap the Black Album, which he did, it was never officially released until like 93, 94 when it did finally get that release. He scrapped it because he'd had an epiphany and decided that he didn't want to release it. Instead, he brought out this album, Lovesexy. Now, there's a track on here called When Two Are in Love, which also appears on the Black Album. So he did carry that over to Lovesexy. So this here came out in 88. Great album, another great album, that one. Probably don't listen to this one enough, to be honest. I should listen to it more than I do, but I do really enjoy it whenever I put it on. And I'm going to choose another quite obvious track here from my one pick on this one. It's Alphabet Street. I had to choose it just because it's such a bouncy. For me, it's a very, very happy number. I just love the sound effects in it as well. It's just got a great groove and a great vibe to it. I love the little sort of rappy part on it by Cat Glover. And in the music video, actually, for Alphabet Street, there is like a hidden message. If you pause it on a certain moment in that video, it does have a hidden message that says, "Please don't buy the Black Album. I'm sorry," something like that. Paraphrasing there, but it does say I'm sorry and not to buy that album because he really did feel that the Black Album was an album that he just didn't want to be putting out into the world at that point. So he went for Lovesexy instead, which has got more of a spiritual, sort of an optimistic tone to it. So that's how I interpret it when I listen to it anyway. I mean, the final track, Positivity, I Wish You Heaven, Dance On's great, Anastasia's brilliant as well. Yeah, Glam Slam. I know, I really need to listen to that again soon, that one. But yeah, please do check out Alphabet Street. A great choice for a single, very poppy, very memorable. I love the yeah, yeah, yeahs in it and stuff that he does, all the little sound effects, as I mentioned. Great song. Okay, so just a few left to show you now. So if you're still with me at this point, I really appreciate your time and attention. Thank you very much. And as I mentioned earlier, please do share with me your favourite Prince albums as well. Okay, so moving on then, we have got an album here, a soundtrack to what was a cinematic phenomenon. Great memories for me as a kid growing up in the 80s. I was so excited for this film landing, even though I wasn't old enough to go and watch it, but I remember it vividly coming out. From 1989, we've got Batman, got the Batman soundtrack, which Prince helmed. And I'm not going to choose Bat Dance off this one as the song to choose. I'm actually going to go for Electric Chair. The reason being is just because I think Electric Chair is the best song on the album. So, yeah, this is just credited to Prince, this one. It's not The Revolution or anything on this one. Prince as well earlier with Lovesexy as well as Prince. So, there we go. That's my copy there of the Batman soundtrack. Amazing film. The soundtrack here, it's not one of my go-to Prince albums. I mean, obviously I've got it in the collection. There's a couple of songs on it I do really enjoy, but for me it's not one that I would be reaching for over a lot of the others have shown you. But if other people have got a massive affection or fondness for this album, then I really do admire and respect that, and please do let me know why in the comments if you do. But Electric Chair is a great song. Okay, so this one here then, how many have we got left? Is it 3? Yeah, I've got 3 left. So this one here is a record that he did with the New Power Generation. So this is an original, this one. Yeah, I got a couple of originals and then a reissue to finish. So we've now got Diamonds and Pearls. So this was seen, I think, at the time as like a comeback for Prince. Certainly commercially, it did very, very well for him. Artistically, I think it's very pleasing as well. So I'll just show you the insides of this before I choose favourites or a song on it I'd love you to listen to. So yeah, this one did really, really well for him. You know, this has got like Get Off on it and Cream, and the title track Diamonds and Pearls all did really, really well for him. Just a really, really, really strong album, this one. There's a great shot there of the new Power Generation there. There's Rosie Gaines on there, and yeah, Tony M's on there as well, and a few others as well. Yeah. So I was thinking about which one to choose for this one. I'm not going to go for one of those big sort of super obvious big singles on it. There's a song on here, a really soulful one that I really love, and I love the lyrics of it as well, and the meaning and the power behind the song. And that is "Money Don't Matter Tonight" is the song I'm going to choose off Diamonds and Pearls. Just love it. Really, really nice groove and vibe to it. Kind of a bit of a slower number on the album, amongst the likes of, you know, stuff like Get Off and Cream, which has got like a bit of a 70s kind of glam rock feel to it. Diamonds and Pearls is the big ballad, of course, but yeah, please do check out Money Don't Matter Tonight. Maybe in a similar vein to when I chose the ballad of Dorothy Parker, off Sign of the Times. I think that Money Don't Matter Tonight might be one of those tracks of Prince's that goes under the radar a little bit. Okay, so coming up next then, my penultimate album in my Prince collection, we have got the Love Symbol album. And again, that's credited there to Prince and the New Power Generation. And you can see his iconic symbol there being put to use as well. So that's that one. This is an original pressing as well, this one. Some really, really great Prince songs on here. Absolutely love Seven. That's an awesome song. Love Seven. My Name is Prince. Sexy MF is brilliant as well. Very, very, very memorable. Great song. Damn You's good as well. There's a few on here that I really like. Really do like a lot. Three Chains of Gold is great as well. But I was thinking about choosing Seven because I love Seven. It's a great song. But I decided the one that I wanted to go with as my one song just to choose off this record is Blue Light. Blue Light. Now, again, that might not be one that a lot of people know, outside of, you know, being maybe into Prince on a slightly deeper level. But what I love about Blue Light is it's a bit of a foray into reggae, which, you know, don't really think Prince did that an awful lot over the course of his career. You know, he went into jazz and a lot of other areas, but he does a really lovely, in my opinion, a really lovely job of putting together a very nice sort of reggae tinge pop song on this album in the shape of Blue Light. So please do listen to Blue Light off this record. You know, the album in full is superb. I do really enjoy this one. One of my favourite later-ish periods. It's probably not accurate to say later period, but of that, you know, the mid '90s area of his career, this is one of those better albums, I would say, in his discography. So please do check out the Love Symbol album. Just reminding myself when this one came out. Yeah, early mid '90s. This one, wasn't it? After Diamonds and Pearls. Yeah, so please do check that one out. Blue Light, really nice album. That's another double album, that one as well. Okay, and the final record to show you, this is a reissue, this one. So this is going into the later part of the '90s now. This is when he's the Symbol. We have got the Gold Experience. So this was a Record Store Day purchase, this one. A replica of the expanded limited edition promo version. 1995, Prince's 1995 album on 2 gold LPs. Yeah, I thought it was a bit later than that, actually. 95. Yeah, so that was probably, what, 93, 94, that one. The Love Symbol album. But yeah, that's my copy of the Gold Experience there. So just take that out to show you. There we go. Then we've got the discs inside here as well, and these are pressed on these beautiful gold gold coloured discs here as well. Lovely, really, really lovely. Yeah, I love this album a lot as well. So this is why, as I said, I prioritised getting these Prince albums in the collection. These are ones that I really wanted to get. So this has got, the most beautiful girl in the world on it, which I think was, from memory, I think was Prince's only, astonishingly Prince's only UK #1 hit single. But the track on this one that I wanted to pick, I mean, Gold, the title track is amazing as well. So a lot of really good stuff on this one. But the track I wanted to choose off this one is called Dolphin, which again, along with Money Don't Matter Tonight, Ballad of Dorothy Parker, Blue Light, it's another Prince song I would say is underrated. So what I love about Dolphin is, for me, the lyrics. It's the metaphor of the dolphin being used to convey freedom, independence, and I think that what it's trying to do lyrically is explain to the listener that if Prince was to come back as a dolphin, that he would have this freedom and liberation that perhaps he wasn't experiencing at the time that he created this album, because this was at a point where he was in a real dispute, a sort of waging a war, so to speak, with Warner Brothers. This was a time in Prince's life where I think he felt that he was very much enslaved by his label. And what I love about Dolphin, the song, is that it's almost talking about his need to have control for himself and his own freedom of expression. And I think that was just such a very important theme for Prince throughout his life. So I just feel like the lyrics of Dolphin really do run deep. And plus, it's just got a great musical accompaniment to it as well. So please do check out Dolphin. There we go. So what I'll do very quickly now to recap is just go through the songs again, and then we'll finish up. So got Dolphin there for that one, for the Gold Experience. Got Blue Light here. Try and do this as quickly as I can. Money Don't Matter Tonight, off Diamonds and Pearls. Electric Chair from the Batman soundtrack. Alphabet Street from Lovesexy. Let's get my 3 copies here of that Black Album. Bob George from the Black Album. Ballad of Dorothy Parker from Sign of the Times. The Astonishing Kiss from Parade. Put all these away in a moment. Raspberry Beret, of course, from Around the World in a Day. Purple Rain from Purple Rain. And we had Little Red Corvette from 1999. Such a great album. Controversy, we had Do Me Baby. Controversy. Dirty Mind. I'm going to lean down here to get these. Dirty Mind, When You Were Mine. 2 more to show. Put all those bits away there. I'm going to put Prince's self-titled. There we go, Prince's self-titled there. We had I Want to Be Your Lover. What a song. And then off the debut, we've got I'm Yours from his debut For You. Okay, so that's me done and dusted with my tribute to Prince. Thank you very, very much indeed for being with me for this. I really, really appreciate it. Prince is an artist that means the world to me, always has done, always will. His music's been in my life from being a kid, grew up listening to his music through my family, and yeah, he's someone that I come back to so often in all times of my life. His music's always there, and it will be for everybody else for the rest of the time, which is a really, really beautiful and a very comforting feeling. So yeah, so please do share with me in the comments your thoughts of Prince, your memories of him. Maybe you'd like to tell me about some of the times that you experienced, watching him live, what your favourite albums are, favourite songs. Please do let me know about your collection of Princes as well. What are some of your favourite singles, maybe music videos, any stories at all that you'd like to share about the Purple One. Please do let me know. I love to interact with people in my on my channel and to communicate in that way. So just really grateful to you all for being here today, and thank you for joining me in remembering a truly wonderful artist. So until next time, bye for now.